G'day guys and welcome to FanCast, where we have a proper footy chat. We're here at the wonderful St Kilda Sporting Club here. A lot of history here at the club and we are so grateful to be here. G'day FanCasters and welcome to another episode here on the channel where we have a proper footy chat. We are joined, of course, by a great friend of the channel, Marshy. How's it going, my friend?
Yip, lads and listeners and viewers. Going well, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, doing very, very well. And we're also joined by a new face. Now, he's a new face in front of the camera, but in this joint, he's not. He sort of runs the place. Apollo, how's it going, mate?
Hi, guys. How are we? It's really exciting to be here. I've been able to watch from behind the camera and now to get to spend some time with you on the camera. It's cool.
Mate, it is so good. When you said that you're going to come on this week, I'm like, oh, this is going to be awesome. It's going to be a ripping episode. Heaps to cover this week, as always. And I guess we can sort of start off just a topical piece of information. Even the week that just went by, I thought it was a very opportune time to shout out the AFL. AFL House is very regularly bashed for all of the stupid things that they do, and there are plenty of stupid things that the AFL does. But this one, though, I got to say, was really good. I loved the stance that they took when it comes to the domestic violence and that ringing around in the middle. I thought that was a wonderful show of solidarity.
100%. I guess at your game was over in WA.
It was.
But we were down the road under the roof, and the whole crowd sort of standing up at with the players and that ring of solidarity and just that message, like dead set. I got real emotional, because we've got everyone's got women in their lives that they love, and it's just appalling what goes on, has been going on for a long time. So not typically, but when the AFL sort of comes up with different kind of themes or I guess rounds of acknowledgement. Some are hits, some are a little bit miss. Indigenous round, that's a hit.
Massive
Country round, maybe not.
That's terrible. That's terrible. That one.
But this is one that there wouldn't be one person out there that would give it the yeah, nah. It just affects everyone. The AFL did it really well. It wasn't over the top or anything in terms of it getting sort of not really in your face, but it's a confronting thing as well. So for them to be able to do that quite simply, I think they nailed it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean they've got the platform too, don't they? I mean they've got millions of people watching at home. They've got the power to make changes at this level. So it seems like something that they've become more and more focused on. And there's a couple of real key pieces that they've picked up on, and this is one of them. And I think it's great because you've got such a male dominant sport moving in transitioning now with the AFLW flying.
Yeah, that's right.
We finally got some equality there between the two genders, and I think that it's just one of those things to keep ticking those boxes along the way until we've actually got equality.
Yeah, and always comes back down to education. Education is key. And the best way to get through to young boys who will eventually grow to be men and to have them be mindful, because it is disproportionately one way. And this is definitely the best way to get through without being overly in your face. 100%, Marshy. So very well done to the AFL for doing that. I got to give you guys a big round of applause there. Mm-hmm. Someone else that also requires a big round of applause, I got to say, moving to footy now, specifically footy. It's got to be Sam Mitchell, mate. He needs a big round of applause for that great upset there over the Doggies. Those Hawkers, mate.
Yeah, I think they listened to the podcast last week.
Took it personally, I think.
Something like no chance, or it has to be as you made your tip. So maybe they showed that in the rooms before the game. I don't know, but I like the idea of it. It's good. As a Hawks fan, we went through some years of having lots of wins. Mm-hmm. We're in a couple of years where we're not getting them so often, and we've got to be good losers as well. But when you get a win, you got to be able to get excited about it. So it's really nice to see.
Good. For sure, and because Sam Mitchell, I think it was it last week where you got pumped?
A week before
against Sydney. Was it Sydney? And
That's 2 in a row now.
So Sam Mitchell's come out and he's come out and said that if you weren't watching, if there was no scoreboard, you could say those poo-poo wee-wee fellas were out there having a crack. And it was too funny. But Joey, what was this stat you were just hitting me with? It's ridiculous.
David Hoyne. Now, he says a lot of things that I don't agree with. Like, for example, that Zach Merritt is the 70th best player in the competition. Stuff you, Hoyne. That's absolutely flat out wrong, all right? Zach Merritt is not the 70th best player in the competition. But what he did say is that out of all teams in history, this current Hawks team is ranked number 6 for winning ground balls post-clearance in all time. So everyone above them either won the flag or was in a grand final.
So break down, what does that actually mean?
That means that there is a clearance there in the middle, the ball's up, thrown up, especially around centre bounces. The opposition gets first hands on the ball, but because they're being pressured and they get a little hack kick forward, dribble kick, the ball's in dispute between the arcs. The Hawks are winning the ball back and driving it forward more than anyone else in the competition so far this year. So when the ball hits the ground, even though they might be playing a bit behind driving it, I suppose, from the defensive half, they're the ones winning the ball and moving the ball forward with speed. And they love to run it with hands. They love to flick it around. And it's a really exciting, very brave style of play. And they're in history books at the moment.
When you consider a hardball you consider those older, mature bodies, right? You're talking about a young team.
Mm.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
That's sort of what's so crazy about it. Such a young team led by John Newcomb, who is young himself.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Warple, who's in there. I think Warple's having a great year so far, flying under the radar a little bit. And you were missing Day for a long time. He's finally come back into the team last week. And what a massive difference.
Is it Connor Nash who causes a little bit of grief?
He's that
opposition?
really big body. Yeah. He's the one that can really move people around in the tight areas. But you're talking about balls in, out in the open, not necessarily, closed in where there's 3, 4, 5 people. You're talking about the one-on-ones as well,
exactly.
With young, smaller bodies. So
you got someone like Lloyd Meek who's moving mountains as well. I think Meek has been a great acquisition for you. It's taken a bit of time. He's been fighting with Ned Reeves in the ruck, but he's been doing really well for you so far this year.
Yeah, for a big guy, he moves pretty good too. Like he gets that second, third, effort, and he's pushing. He's become that number one, hasn't he now? So maybe that confidence that he gets being number one just means he can get in the centre and own the space.
And to put in a shift against Tim English as well, who's the reigning All-Australian ruckman. So that's something pretty, to hang your hat on. Not bad.
Yeah, exactly. When people look at that midfield, that core group 3, 4, 5, and include the ruckman, that's there's not many better in the competition, for the Bulldogs. So they're challenging at the top.
So where's it gone all wrong? Where's it going all wrong? The wheels at the doggies.
They've been upset since COVID because you heard all the rumours. That's why. What's his name? I think it all stemmed from who's the Dunkley.
Yes,
Dunkley wanting out forever. I think McRae was also unsettled
I wish
forever,
we got
and
him.
He's flat that he's still there because he's not getting played.
Yeah,
which is outrageous. And I don't know. I just think there's just been unrest. Bontempelli's not been happy, and then that got leaked at the start of the year, I think.
Still hasn't re-signed.
Yeah, oh, mate. Is he not? Is he out of contract this year?
Next year.
Oh, next year.
Unrestricted free agent next year.
But
anyone who's doing their due diligence would be getting on the phone right away.
Yeah.
And just hammering the door down, trying to get this guy across the line.
Yeah. What did you make of Sam Draper's comments? Was that covered on your potty last week?
It was. I called him an absolute moron. I called him an absolute moron last week. Look, he's right.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, but he's not Kane Cornish.
But you can't say it, mate.
Yeah.
I get it. Yes, everyone and their mum knows that Luke Beveridge is not in the happy space right now. But it's not for you to come out and say it about an opposition team's head coach.
So we heard, forgive me, I digress a little bit,
yes,
but
please.
We heard what, Brad Scott came out and said the club's stance was.
Yeah.
Can you perhaps give us a bit of insight as to what you really think was said from Scott seeing that, hearing that, getting that information? what do you think his interaction would have been with Draper?
Well done, mate. That is absolutely it was along the line. Yeah, no, he put it up to it. Yeah, and so because he knew he was going to give him a rest this week anyway. So like, you know what, go out with a bang. What he said was, mate, we've gone through a drug saga. Everyone fucking hates us. We already have enough haters as it is. No need for you to come out now. We need all the support we can get. We're finally having a good run with umpiring. Don't come out and freaking start.
Give people another reason to dislike you.
I know.
I personally reckon that would garner more followers than not.
Really?
I reckon the only people who'd be upset, and probably not. I reckon the doggies. They would have loved that. They go, yes.
More pressure on Bevo, please.
That's what we say every week. So thank God, so I reckon you've actually won yourself fans from that little exchange, potentially.
Cheers, Sammy. I can't see it. Oh, yeah, a bit of PR building. I said it last week. I think this guy's trying to force his way, create a new path into journalism afterwards.
Because, for me, I saw that and I just laughed. I'm like, yeah, good on you. Like, I didn't go, oh, what a dickhead or whatever. I didn't mind it. I'd hate it to come from a saner, but
see, exactly.
So the only ones that really would have pissed off is Beveridge, the Bulldogs as a club, not the fans, and
all of our executive team at the end because everyone had to call up and just, we are so sorry, please. He's an idiot. Forgive us, please. He doesn't know what he speaks. Please forgive us. But but seriously though. Everyone knows that he's under his job's in. Does he see out the year? Really? Does he see out the year?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because it's been, how long has it gone on now?
Since 2016. Since they won the flag. Yeah.
When they probably had the team but still didn't play a year well enough to finish in the top 4.
Yeah, that's right.
With a team that probably could have. And then he's probably underperformed for a long time. And even if he's not underperforming so much, that's a long time to be at a football club anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
To lead, the top of the football club. So, yeah,
because he's been there 10 years?
Yeah,
it's a long time to be at the top.
Now. Yeah.
It's a hard one. But
why is he not playing Riley Sanders?
I mean, there's even more questions than before, right?
Oh, for sure. Why is he not playing Riley Sanders?
Well, that one probably because he's young. But I'd be more like, why aren't you playing Caleb Daniel?
Oh yeah,
like that.
Exactly.
Bailey Dale paying off a sub, but to be fair, that move seems to look like it's invigorated Dale because he's been gone bunter since, or at least in the fantasy department. I don't watch a great deal of I saw the Bulldogs game against us, and he got 50 touches and just went berserk. So I think that was one of the Bevo moves that's actually come off, but the rest just doesn't make a great deal of sense.
He does like that the big ball, doesn't he? The pulling out the big player.
Yeah.
It's sort of been one of his.
That's his one wood.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. When you're in danger, who can I pick? And I'll pull them back. And
correct.
Yeah.
He likes to give statements, doesn't he? He likes to make statements with his team selection. And it's just like, mate, but at the same time, you're almost trying to subvert expectations, and you're costing your team wins. I honestly reckon in 2016 they overachieved. I don't think they were the best team in it. By any stretch. They definitely rode the momentum and the flick handballs. Those were not handballs. They were throwing them 3/4 of the time. Doggies supporters, you can come out and hate me for it. In your heart of hearts, you guys weren't handballing those balls out there. But I think ever since then, they've definitely underachieved.
Yeah.
With the sheer amount of talent that they've got around the ground, I think especially in the midfield, especially in that midfield mix, and the way they treated McRae and flicked them off to the VFL or parked them at half forward or putting on a wing. I don't know. I think he's definitely mismanaged the team just a little bit.
Yeah, because the other thing is they've got all the father sons, right? So they've not had to be at the bottom to get top end talent.
Correct.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They've had some cream.
Absolutely.
From players, ex-players.
And then they kind of ruined the NGA academies for the rest of the competition by getting Jamari Ugle-Hagan in a year
changed
where
the rules.
They finished top 4 or they're quite high up.
So they've got their fair share there too. You can't say, they had their time at the bottom though, but they've been in that
an
middle
unfair
section.
share.
Yeah, their unfair share of that. Yeah, we'd love some of that.
Exactly. We'd love some of that. Instead, we get stuck with Tex Wanganeen.
Because you'd argue that, like, you know, their last sort of, let's just say 5 years, it should have mirrored, I guess, Brisbane Lions' plight in just being steady, solid top 4 contenders year on year.
Yep.
But they just, I don't know, they're a bit of a flaccid football club.
They are a bit of a flaccid, which is very weird coming from something that's Bevo driven. He's he's anything but flaccid.
Yeah, that's
and the club's really coming out and being very aggressive and on the front foot and trying to do all they can to sort of try and back their man in. I mean, you have to, I guess, at this point. What other option have you got? Everyone's got the full support of the board until they don't, right? I mean, you just look at, for example, Rats.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he had the full support of the board, got the contract extension, and then how many days later? 90 days later, he's out of a job.
Not long after, yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's performance-driven. It's results-driven. And unfortunately, I would love to see the Mayhem if they lose to Richmond this week. If they lose to Richmond,
do you reckon it would be worse than the Hawthorn? Because for me, I don't know about you fellas, but I don't know, maybe it's a Saints thing, but to make my football world make a little bit more sense and a bit more fun, I suppose, is I tend to go to the clubs that have had a big loss and just get the vibe check on their social. So a little bit of doom scrolling, if you will, just to get the vibe of what the fans, because they're the ones that drive football.
Correct.
And rarely does it drive change. But you go to the Bulldogs one, I went there. Oh, wow, they lost to Hawthorn. That shouldn't have happened. So I go there and I'm expecting like all these like savage comments that similar to those of the Carlton supporters who've just lost a game by kick to the reigning premiers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting that level of, vitriol. But the Doggies, they're just like, it's not our boys. It's Bevo. He needs to go. They look resigned as a collective, that they all understand the assignment. They know what's going on. They're just like, he needs to go.
And building on that, the fans, I actually also did something similar. So this is not just the St Kilda thing.
Sweet.
There's also an Essendon thing as well.
Yeah.
I went onto their Big Footy fan forum.
Yeah.
And over there, again, I'm expecting to see anger, disappointment. Instead, what I'm met with is joy. That all these people got their same game multis to come up because everyone over there was showing screenshots of their bet slips.
Yeah, right.
They're all going for Hawthorn. They knew they were going to lose. They knew the players weren't going to get up for Bevo.
True. I'm not big on the betting side, but what were the odds if you know?
Oh, I'm not a big betting man myself, but
I imagine
the Hawks were definitely not favourites going into that game. We'll just say it as that.
Yeah, of course, at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was very bullish on the Bulldogs last week as well.
You were a bit more than the fans.
More than the fans, yeah.
That's right.
No, actually, they gambled. I didn't. So maybe they were even more bullish than I was. But how do you feel coming into this week? You boys are playing against each other.
Yeah, look out.
Yeah, Tassie. It's no longer the fortress it once was for you guys. But then again, we're not storming any gates these days, so it'll be
danger game.
Every game's a danger game for us. Let's be real. The North Melbourne game on the weekend, I go in there confident, but at the same time ready for anything. It's just footy's like that. Well, look at you guys. You just rolled. We were just talking about. You just roll Bulldogs. Anything can happen. West Coast nearly beat Essendon.
Let's not talk about that a lot.
but you guys are just. I think teams like Hawthorn, how they are at the minute, sometimes the more trickier ones to navigate for opposition clubs because you're young, you're trying different things, and clubs can find it a bit tough to get a read on. Yeah, this is your DNA. This is what you do well, but at the same time, you're quite likely to sort of take different risks and just. I think if you're a team that's an underdog or you don't have much to lose, it just makes you just that bit more dangerous. And that's how I see the Hawthorn game. I wouldn't bet against this. Let's put it that way. But I'm expecting a pretty good contest. How do you say it?
Yeah, well, because of the way we play, that super aggressive, always moving forward, that game style is going to potentially catch some people out.
Yeah.
But is it consistent enough to go through, 4 quarters if you put the time and the effort into, building a good game?
Yeah.
I think we can't go with you. If you play well, I think we can't go with you. But if we pull something out of the box, if everyone plays well, if our stars really turn up and play their games, and then maybe. But
yeah,
I don't know. For us, we got so used to winning for so long. It has. At the moment, we're in that transition period where I'm quite happy to take especially with the Tassie team coming in, right? So we'll take a couple of seasons at the bottom just to fill up, and then we can load.
That's the big concern, isn't it? It's just like with Tassie coming in, it's either you got to be sort of down below to get the good picks, or B, set yourselves up now that you're a good team when Tassie come and you're a destination club like say a Geelong.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's I'm so scared for when Tassie come because Saints are just in the middle. So it kind of like what I guess Essendon have been for the last 15 years or whatever.
Yep.
Never bottoming out, never getting to the pointy
just
end.
Just that no man's land.
Yeah, that's it. So like we've been neighbours for years, unfortunately. But
our colours are almost exactly the same as well. Like we could just merge. Really,
we'll send you some milk if you need.
Yeah, exactly. We could merge and no one would know otherwise. And that's why I think the Bulldogs also need to really get on the front foot, because if they're going to be in no man's land for the next few years as well, like we can see the Sanders are on the way up. You recruited.
Yeah,
you're going to get Henry back this week. He's a massive in for you guys. So you're on the up. The Hawks are on the up. You're in that right period now. I think we're on the up a little bit as well.
On the up. North are on the up.
North are up. But the doggies now, if they take too long to blow it up and to pull the pin and to really be on the same page, because they came into this year thinking they're top 4.
Yeah.
I think it's clear to everyone that they're not. They really need to get on the same page ASAP, because Tassie's coming and the draft picks are going.
I think that's why it's so nice being a fan of a team that has a direction.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to win every week if you know that you've done all the right things.
There's a plan.
Yeah, you've got a young person at the helm who's probably still learning a fair bit at being the top man, and then he's trying to teach all of these young players who were him. He's been there as well.
Yeah.
He wasn't a top draft pick, but
no.
I think he understands, because he went through the same period as the period where we got all of those superstars that stayed there and won all those premierships. So
definitely
just knowing that, we might be going to the game to see them, hopefully challenge and maybe get a win every now and then, but probably just to see rolling through our future stars. Seeing those players before they hit their peak, that's the exciting thing. You go to a Hawks game and go, rightio, I like the way he moves. Geez, that was a nice little moment. You're not going to see a whole game from these people, but you're going to see little moments where you go, oh, yeah, actually.
You got one here.
Yeah, that's good.
100%.
Yeah, I like that.
And that's the beauty of sport, footy, is, if you're not at the top contending, if you're sort of down below, you're seeing the future. And nothing is worse as a football fan when you go to the game and what you're looking at doesn't make sense.
Oh,
and that's the doggies at the minute.
100%. So someone else who's got a plan, I know the Hawks have got a plan. I think we've both got plans as well. Someone else who also has a good plan, and that is all around discussion in social media and the general public as a whole, Cornsey. He knows exactly what he's doing every time he opens his mouth.
He's so cheeky.
He's such a cheeky gentleman, isn't he? He's a cheeky bugger. And I can't believe I called him a gentleman.
I can't. I've been drinking. The first time.
I need to drink
it's
some
the
more.
way he talks, because he talks with the Queen's tongue, because he's from Adelaide or South Australia.
That's it.
Jason Horn-Francis.
Yeah, the old charts.
Yeah. Castles and all sorts of things.
Ice baths. No, I'm just joking.
yeah, that's it.
But he honestly knows exactly what he's doing every single time. He's made an absolute career out of it now. I suppose post his playing days, I don't think anyone really rated him super highly as a player. I don't think. Did we think he was? He was all right.
He was a
but-
lead at Supercoach.
Really? Oh, Supercoach. Oh, I didn't play it back
Oh,
then.
that's true. Yeah, he loaded right. Yeah. You could
Him and his
promise
brother,
him,
he had,
Just
they're your
stay
two
away.
locks. He's
Oh, he was
just,
more of a tacker than anything, I thought.
but still, he got the pill and
Yeah.
tackles.
I think he's getting more pills now.
Yeah. Oh, he might have been having them too. Two lots, maybe.
Yeah. Look, I'm full disclosure.
Yes.
I rate Kane Corns.
Yeah.
I like listening to him. I think, anyone who's brave enough to sort of go out with that sort of stuff and back it up when challenged, yeah, all right, you got my respect. But I think it's come at a time where it's just like, bloke, give us a little bit more than that. I think it's getting that shtick is getting a little bit tired, that shock jock mentality. Like we're talking about it. The SEN just are talking about him outside of his shows. So what he's wanting to get out of his plan is working. But I think there's going to come a point in time when people just go, you know what? There's enough negative stuff going out in the world.
Yeah.
We don't need someone just fueling that fire. And I think, he needs to. I think he needs to not reinvent himself, but just add a few more bows, a few more strings to his bow because it's getting a bit old.
So you're saying he's got the elements that makes a good commentator or a good person in the media, but just keeps returning to that thing that got him to
that's
all the
it.
stardom.
Like he just looks to the American sports shock jocks, and that like if people are carrying on about Kane Corns, so you guys perhaps would have seen some footage that just I guess their equivalent over there in the basketball and whatnot. They're turbo, right? They're disgustingly turbo,
Yeah.
but negativity breeds just like wildfire, and that's what gets the clicks and things like that, and that's all the stations care about or the outlets. So I think Cornsey needs to realise that he's not in America, and whilst at the moment it's perhaps generating what he reckons that will get out of him, because I think deep down I don't reckon he's convinced about half the stuff he's saying. He's just like, nah, I'm just going to go out there, tag, do my job.
Yeah.
Just be an asshole. Because I know that's SEN Hutchie. He'd be telling him, he's like, go for it,
100%.
go for it. Like, because everyone's, that's going to piss off people. And, I think, enough's enough, Cornsey. Relax.
I feel like
It's not that bad.
Yeah, he's one of the biggest negative Nancy's going around.
Exactly.
Like right as everyone is raving and oohing and ahhing about, Harley Reid, for example. And I gotta say, on Essendon social media, like on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, I know there was a bunch of diehard Essendon fans who went out of their way to actually commend him on a great performance, especially like the way he went about with the double fend off. I know he did it to our players, but you just sometimes got to respect game.
100%.
And I've seen like a bunch of great Essendon people that I follow on Twitter, like, wow, unreal. And they're sharing the footage of our players getting shat on. But it was just so good that you just simply have to respect it and what a great player he's going to be, what he's shaping to be already. And you've got someone like Kane Corns now coming in and just saying this guy doesn't train hard enough.
It's just like no,
why?
it's like no one, and then Corns enters the chat with this.
Exactly.
It's like,
You said no one, right?
it's
Yeah,
like-
one of those.
you're
Like,
come
why?
on, mate. I just found it a bit of weird. Like an 18-year-old, like what he's done already is incredible. And
exactly.
like you're saying, people are seeing him and just going, we're witnessing a star in the making, and I think people are sitting back and just soaking it in, and that kind of takes them to a point where I think that the Corns angle, that I think as the world gets a little bit more respect into them, I think that's where that sort of the tunnel ends a bit. I think
Because they've been trying to warn off these sort of comments for your up and coming players, especially your number one draft picks, right? They're trying to soften these blows for him because they already know how much pressure is there.
Exactly.
Like people like him know exactly the sort of pressure that's put on this bloke, this young man, and then to find something that's not even really probably got any evidence and not really anything to do with the way he's playing footy.
it's not
just,
newsworthy.
It
It's
just seemed
not.
like a nothing thing.
Yeah. It's just a pot shot.
Yeah.
And just jumping on what you're saying there, Paulo, he knows full well because he came to bat in for his boy Jason Horne-Francis after he was copping all the hate with the ice bath.
Exactly.
And plant. He
And
says
plant.
plant.
Yes, he'd love to say plant. We love to plant our butt cheeks on your face, mate, sometimes. Because honestly, what he says is so annoying, and sometimes he's very based. I get it. It's to and fro, right? You got to take the good with the bad, and unfortunately now, just a little bit out of touch. There was no reason to take a pot shot at Harley Reid this week.
Yep.
Just mate, be happy for the kid. He's expedited the West Coast Eagles rebuild by about 2 years. And you know goddamn well that North Melbourne are crying in their beds every single night knowing that they beat the Suns last year in Hobart for no reason whatsoever. They could have had Harley Reid.
Yeah.
They could have had Harley Reid and McKercher this year.
Yeah, he was theirs.
He was theirs.
Yeah.
And then they just hand him on a silver platter to the Eagles.
Yeah, they buggered that up.
They buggered that up full well. So stuff you, Kane Corns.
Yeah, maybe just enjoy like we go and watch footy for the stars, right?
100%.
And this guy's doing things that, we want to watch the superstars do. Just sit back and enjoy.
That's it.
Mate, he fended off with two hands.
Oh,
Start with the left and then change with the right. Just if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Zach Merritt, you get one. Ben Hobbs, you get another one.
Yeah,
Two for the
you
price
have
of
to
one.
be miserable if that doesn't get you excited.
I mean, it was one of the most miserable negative Nancy's going around. And you actually called SCN this week, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I was going to say, because all this Corns chat. So I called up. I called up Midday Madness. I wanted to speak to the pipe, but he was having a sickie. So I was waiting on the line for Sam Edmund, and whilst I waited 45 minutes.
Oh wow,
45 minutes.
Like calling Telstra.
Yeah, 100%.
Or Optus.
Yeah.
No, there'd be an outage there.
You should say you call, you get on, but not quickly. But so I'm waiting there, and so the cheeky buggers. So I'm on there for like 20 minutes, and then Sam Edmund, he brings up this Kane Corns chat. This is why I'm pretty across it, because he played like essentially the whole interview of Cornsy going off about Het Reid, and then was taking callers about that. So they all jumped the queue to talk about Kane Corns, which really pissed me off. I'm like, mate, he's on your radio show. Like, how many, like, licks of the ice cream do you guys need to give yourselves? But anyways, so I called up SEN. What I wanted to call them up about was round 24, Saints Carlton. Okay.
Right.
It's scheduled at Marvel, and it needs to be at the G. The Blues are saying they want more games at the G, and fair enough. I hate Carlton, but I respect them in they turn up. They've always turned up, similar to Essendon. You guys turn up as well, even when you're not very good.
Most times.
But, so Carlton, they turn up. So as an opposition supporter at Marvel, it's always a hassle to get tickets because, I think there's only 5,000 or whatever allocated to the opposition or whatever. It's just annoying. And more than that, it's just a wasted opportunity because the last time we played the Blues at the G was 2018, the second last game of the year, in what was the year that Carlton won the Wooden Spoon and we finished third last. And it still drew 52,000.
Wow.
Okay.
That's really impressive, actually.
So, you'd like to fast forward to now.
For a dead rubber.
For a dead rubber.
52,000.
52,000 at the G. Both clubs, nothing to play for. Carlton were playing for their second win of the year, which we unfortunately gave to them because we felt sorry.
They're Saints, aren't they?
Yeah, we're just Saints, mate. We just look after them. But, fast forward to now, you get that because the game currently slated there is Gold Coast Richmond.
It's the Dimmer Hardwick Cup. They don't want to do it at Marvel. There's no soul there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Dimmer doesn't like to go to Marvel. Bugger off. Yeah, true. To me, that's not enough of a draw card for it to be at the G. Get stuffed because they can ship off to Marvel. Yeah, because Richmond don't go to their games anymore. They're quickly forgotten about, all their dynasties. They're all miserable again. How short some memories are. But anyway, so Saints, Carlton, for us, even if ideally we're playing to get in the 8, ideally. Yeah. But if we're not, what better way to enter a preseason where Carlton, they'll bring 60, 65,000, whatever it is, and we'll bring our, 15, 20. Ideally 80,000. Hostile environment. What better way to enter a preseason if you're St Kilda? And what better way to enter the finals if you're Carlton and you're playing for, they could be playing for a top 4 spot. So if they're playing for a top 4 spot, minimum 80,000 of them are, going to be at the G. So That was what I called up because the fixture's not released. You know how they do all the timings?
Right. Yeah.
So we needed to get onto it, and I thought I'd get a little bit more love. And all I was met with Sam Edmund was, you're an organised man. I don't know why. You're planning that far ahead. I don't know when the last time a game was changed. The AFL moved a game and then moved on to the next call. I'm like, mate, it was 2021 grand final was the last time they moved the game.
Yeah.
Not that long ago.
Not that long ago. No.
To a different state entirely.
To a different state. Like, they've got the ability.
The biggest one.
The biggest game of the year. The only one that matters.
The ability and the agility. So if the AFL, I was hoping that would make ripples, but it didn't. But yeah.
We read it. Here on the channel, we read it, Marshy.
That's it. Like,
you're 100% correct.
Didn't have to wait 45 minutes to get that out either, by the way.
I actually didn't know Sammy Edmund was a Carlton man. I only found out Sammy Edmund's a Carlton man because...
Is he a Carlton man?
So that's even more.
So he gave us nothing and he's a Carlton man?
Yeah. And the only way I knew that is because he was on... I think it was SCN's
so
Carlton Radio.
He wants to play Marvel.
He wants to play Marvel, the retard.
Oh, jeepers.
He was in the SCN Carlton Radio for that game on Friday night between Carlton and Collingwood.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't know he was a Carlton man. And then I was like, now I can't unsee it. Now I can't unsee the
You would have thought
Carlton
you got
players.
onto exactly the man you need to speak to.
100%, yeah. So that's disappointing. Like, he's not a real blue bagger then.
Oh, I think there was a bunch of people, though, commenting after they saw the footage of him in the box with the Carlton people, Sammy Edmund, you've now lost your credibility because you've now come out with an allegiance towards the Blues. And so there was a bunch of people there that saying, you've lost credibility, we've lost respect for you. We know
he's
you're
done an Andy Marr.
And so he's now essentially I think he went hard on you to try and backpedal.
Come on, I'm not the guy.
Timing.
Bad timing. I'm not the guy. I was really annoyed I didn't get Dwayno. So I felt like Dwayno. I might call him up again and say, Dwayno, I said this the other day to Sammy Edmund. I've got nothing. Can you do something about it? Because clearly he cannot. He's conflicted.
He's conflicted. He's a Carlton man. Some people who are also conflicted, I think, are some head coaches in this league who obviously want to do all they can to win. But at the same time, you need to also have a respect and understanding that your players' welfare is also of paramount importance. And I'm talking about you, Ken Hinkley, risking your skipper last week with a 0-week hammy after all week saying, there's no risk, he's fine, we've assessed him, he'll be right to go. Sits for 10 minutes on the bench in the third quarter, gets subbed out in the fourth, and you come out afterwards saying, we were wrong, we shouldn't have done it. Yeah.
Hunch.
We set him up to fail. Yes, you did. This is your skipper. You're one of your most important players, and that's how you've treated him. Imagine some lower names in the team. How are they treated? I understand you want to win, but you got to look at your players' welfare, surely.
Well, they've just got form, like Alir, sending him back on with a concussion.
Yeah.
So their docs suck at Port Adelaide.
Oh, it's crazy to think that you can say that it's the docs because, like, these guys swear an oath that they need to help and protect whatever, not help, that's a bloody police officer. But you know what I mean? Like, they're supposed to be looking after the welfare of their patients. They're not supposed to be putting their patients out in danger. I can't help but feel that there is maybe some, clash between the medicos and the coaching.
I suppose they just leave these are our recommendations.
Right.
They can't force anyone to not do anything.
But they're probably the ones that are going to cop some stick up.
Well, that's true.
It's their licenses on the board.
Exactly.
It's dangerous territory. You're at any sporting club. Doesn't matter what sport you play nowadays. You've got a duty of care to your people, and the people that are putting on the show are the players.
Yeah, definitely.
The amount of business that comes out of the what has occurred, especially in concussions. That's obviously the major one. But what's occurred in America and the potential fallback from that in the next 10 years of our sport could be phenomenal. And then you've still got people making the wrong call.
Yeah.
Instead of just making the safe call and doing the right thing now, that's why we've got the sub.
Exactly.
But then a different area when you're talking about he just really knows that he needs to win games and he was willing to risk their best player.
It's just so early to be so desperate, I thought.
I agree.
Yeah, maybe.
It reeked desperation.
Yeah.
In the showdown against the crosstown rivals, it just reeked desperation. We're going to play you. even though you've got a hammy strain.
Well, it's not a final. Like if it
It's
was
not
a
a final,
final, yeah,
correct.
you accept that. That was a final move.
Yeah, like a knockout game. That's
Yeah.
your last one. You give it everything you got.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's not something you do in round 8
No.
in a 24
Because like,
week.
do we know how long he's going to miss? Have they said yet?
Yeah. Have they?
I'm not entirely
No.
sure. I'm not. To be honest, I just wanted to take a pot shot at Ken Hinkley for being a dumbass. I don't really know exactly how long Connor Rosie is going to be out for, but I imagine, considering that he's now re-injured the same hammy, it's going to be
Re-injured.
Sorry,
Re-injured.
he wasn't injured in the
just-
first place.
just
Sorry, he
keeps
wasn't
being
injured. You're right. I've made assumptions here. He wasn't injured to begin with. He was perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with him. It wasn't a hammy at all. It was just a corky. But banking on what you said about concussion, then you got Liberatore now. Mate, he looked all out, lost at sea on the ground there. It was really sickening to see. And I know, like he looks lost on the best of days, all right? But when you see the way he's just collapsed in that Essendon game, and Darcy Parish,
Well, he didn't collapse. He tripped.
he tripped. You're right. Bevo knows best. But yeah, like Darcy Parish was concerned and had to stop and like lift his hand up and be like, something's not right here.
That was a nice touch by Parish.
Yeah. Well, I mean, someone has to look after him because he legit tripped in the middle of the ground by himself. And so he's now had another bout. And he's had multiple within the span of a month. And that's obviously now, he looked gone to me after the first bump in the game that went by. And then he copped the boots, the studs to the forehead as well. I don't know. I just feel like he hasn't been protected enough. And now he might be medically retired now.
Yeah, it's a tough one because it's obviously massive at the moment. What's going on with it? So you hope he's all right.
Because that's all you hope, isn't it? Like they've got so long to live after there, and enjoy everything that they've put so much time in. Like the only thing they've ever thought about since they grew up was playing footy.
Correct.
He's been lucky enough to have a career that's probably got himself in a position where he's going to be relatively comfortable, for a little while afterwards. But it's just got to be thought about. It's like we're way past having discussions like that. Surely,
you think so?
Surely we are.
And yet here we are.
Yeah, and you
got someone like Paddy McCartan was retired from it. Now you got his brother Tom McCartan now, who's been concussed on the week that's gone by as well.
And Brayshaw made the call, didn't he?
Brayshaw, he was forced to make the call.
Yeah.
So I think it's just increased awareness, and I think it was Brown who did the bump on Tom McCartan. As soon as he did it, you can see his hands immediately just go up like, oh my God, what have I done? And even before anyone remonstrated with him, he had his hands up like in surrender, like, I did the wrong thing. So I guess we're getting to a point now where the players are acknowledging and understanding that what they're doing on the field, they don't need to be told now by someone else that what they're doing is wrong. I think the constant messaging is getting through. And I think we're going to get to a point in time where you're right. We're not going to be sitting here talking about this anymore. That it's going to be a general common understanding now of what you can and can't do. And surely you would imagine looking after your fellow teammate or your opposition on the field.
You got a duty of care. It's a working environment at the end of the day. So I think, like for me, I reckon it's going to get to a stage where it's going to be standing tackles. Like you cannot take someone to the ground. I reckon that's where it's going to get because we saw with the Jack Higgins.
Yeah,
to me that was ridiculous.
That was so harsh.
It was really harsh. You can see where they were going with it, maybe, but it just wasn't it.
Yeah, but clubs won't want to lose players. Like you don't want to be losing a bloke like that for 3 weeks for what you've been teaching them since they were, this big. That's all you've ever been taught is, you need to make sure let them know they've been tackled. Yeah, that's that terminology. That's it.
It'd be like 1, 2, 3 grab, or tag, whatever it is. But I don't know.
And just the amount of time they have. You said he knew what he had done when he bumped in the head, but it's been able to stop that before it gets done,
Correct.
right? How do you do that in the heat of the battle?
For sure.
It's rough.
We're taking the right steps forward, I guess is what we're going to do. And it will take time. We're going to get there. And we're going to take a bit of time here, guys. Quick little break. We'll be back with you. And we're back, Fancasters, from that little short break. Hope you all had a great time to refresh yourselves. I know we definitely did. While we got you here, Apollo, it's obviously a very rare thing. We've recorded so many of these, but we've yet to have you on. But now that we got you here, please, as the man, the face of the joint, please tell us more about this incredible place. I know we've got a lot of people who like to comment and have noted, and every single guest that we've had here has always said how incredible of a venue it is, because it really is. And you can just feel the history, and the setup is unreal. Please tell us more about the St Kilda Sports Club.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. So I'm not from the area, so I've learned it just like you guys coming into this place, how special it is for the people, for the community. It's really something special. So the whole podcast being filmed here came about with the Fancast gang. So coming on board, I thought it seemed like an obvious place to be filming a podcast. So essentially the venue is looking at, turning 160 years as a sporting club.
Wow.
That's something that we just don't see very often. So it's something we need to celebrate. And then the room that we're sitting in, you can see it, you can touch it. Just be careful. But it's 160 years old. This is the longest. So we're the second oldest bowling club in the country.
Yeah, right.
We are sitting in the oldest functioning locker room in the Southern Hemisphere.
That's sick. I did not know that.
It's phenomenal. So yeah, just you can just almost like taste the history in here if you like. It's something that you smell it. You certainly smell it. It's just something that's so special for everyone that's involved with the place. So for me, coming from outside the venue to be at a place that's this special to everyone, and you just think about the people that have been through in the past 160 years, like it's an absolute phenomenon. So now we've grown into a club that offers plenty more, but we've tried to keep the core of what it means to be the St Kilda Sports Club, the old Bolo, if you like, if people know it as. Yeah,
if you know, you know.
Yeah, exactly. The home of live music, the home of good fun, and it gets a little bit wild at times, but it's all good.
Can I just jump in real quick, Apollo? Sure. Because Matt Hardy, Saints royalty, AFL media royalty, I suppose, one of the OG footy comedians. We had our away days in the function room, and you had a setup so perfect, like proper projector, own bar, your kitchen, DJs, it was just ridiculous.
It was top notch.
Yeah, that's right. Smoking Joe was there, and it was just an unreal event. But I guess, I was going somewhere really good, boys. I was going somewhere really good. Where were we going? We're going somewhere with it.
I was talking about the players. You were talking about the...
Oh, jeez, it's coming back to me. It was really good. It was really good. No. So Matt Hardy, right? So he sends me a message, and, he's like, just so you know, for people who don't know where it is, just say it's the Bolo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah. He's like, because otherwise people won't know what you're talking about. I'm like, well... Okay, it's on Google. It's on Google. Okay, it's got the address and that. It's the St Kilda Sports Club, and that's fine. So, because he's looking up the Bolo thingo. That's right. Yeah,
that'll take him a while.
Yeah. So, it's just such a good place to watch footy. Free pool.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but
it's got some good stuff. So, because we're now a sports club, so we've got the bowls. Yes, that hasn't changed in 100 odd years. We've still got a great green out there, traditional grass. It's and this is the place where they sort of work themselves out. But we've got the cricket club, we've got a darts club, which is absolutely booming at the moment. We've got the petanque.
So is that petanque, not bocce?
Yes.
Okay.
And just be careful. Yeah, we've got a big French amount of people in St Kilda from the old times when we used to have a government building up here for the French. So
might have just started a cross-cultural war here, Marshy.
Jeez, okay.
Yeah. So that's what we've got. We've got all these things, and then on top of all these great sports, the people coming in, we've got the venue.
Yeah,
we've got rooms like this, but our main bar, it's like going back in time. Then you've got the modern function room where you can have your proper events and your big time stuff. And it's been a pleasure having you guys here. Yeah. Not since the grand final of last year, we had the sort of mood that we had for that Saints away day up there. So I'm a Hawks supporter, but as long as you're not playing the Hawks, I'll be at a Saints away day here cheering on the Saints. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. We'll have some more to come, that's for sure. It was an unreal environment, and I do encourage anyone out there that are thinking about, we don't have anywhere to, when our team's playing interstate, we don't have anywhere that we go to. Geez, get down here because it's unreal. It's such a good setup. I can't stress that enough.
It was a great fun.
We had a good time.
I'm not a Sainer by any stretch, as you guys can tell. And it was so much fun watching all you got getting around you boys every time you kick a goal. There's a hymn book. How fitting is this? They've got a hymn book. They are Saints, right? They've got a hymn book for every single goddamn player on that list that kicks a goal. They're gonna sing a song for him. I joined in. It was so great. Missy Higgins won. Sorry, I keep calling him Missy Higgins. I know he's not Missy Higgins in your eyes, but to me, he's Missy Higgins. And it's like, have you ever the round the twist? Can you believe that they got a round the twist parody for Jack Higgins when he kicks a goal? So it was absolutely great night.
I just love how far they've gone back. Like you're not talking about these modern songs. You're talking about
correct.
Some songs are old as our club, which I love.
Well, we've got the Max King Drunken Sailor sea shanty, so you're probably right.
Yeah, not far off.
100%. So guys, if please do yourselves a favour, come on by, stop by the St Kilda Sports Club, head on over and check out everything that Sainted Love are doing as well. They're having all of us Fancast Sainted Love, as well as here on at this incredible venue that is the St Kilda Sports Club. We're all doing all we can to not only just grow our channels. That's a byproduct. It's about the environment and the community that is being fostered here, all coming together as fans, as lovers of the game. Apollo's a Hawk. He's a Sainer. I'm a Bomber. Doesn't stop us from coming together and enjoying this great game of ours. So if you have some spare time, if you have you want to come in and have a look and see this incredible facility, come on over, head on over to the St Kilda Sports Club. Everyone here would be more than happy to welcome you in with open arms. I know we've felt that way here at FanCast. I know you felt that way as well, Marshy, with the Saints of Love. So massive appreciation to you, Apollo. Thank you so much for having us here. Absolutely. And we all look forward to seeing you all around here. We've got a lot of great events coming up. Of course, the away games, you guys are going to have to come in and watch a live game, even if you aren't a Sainer. It is a lot of great fun. They get around it. This guy has got a set of lungs. I'll let you know. He can belt it out. It was really good fun. So please make sure that you like our channel, subscribe, hit that notification bell to make sure that you don't miss out on any of the content that we are pumping out on a regular basis, because we are a fan channel,
100%.
as you are, and we have proper footy chats. On that note, see you all in the next one.